Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you out there, and welcome to this general and current affairs chat. I am privileged to be joined by our special guest host today, all the way over from the UK. Angels, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's nearly 6:30, so I might not be here for that long since it's a working day, so a couple of hours sleep.
Totally fair enough. We may not be here for too long, guys, but let's enjoy it while we can. Got a couple of things to discuss today, but before we go any further, Skylar has joined us in the room. Hi, Skylar. Thank you for being here.
Great.
Skylar says it's 1:26 a.m. over there. So not as late as it is where Angels is, but still after midnight over there. I do apologise about time zones. I know they're not exactly my fault, but I do feel bad that we don't have one time zone that just sort of fits everyone.
I know, it would be so good if we actually did, to be honest.
Exactly. And Skylar says, you guys are cray-cray, but love ya. We love you too, Skylar.
I love you too, baby doll.
So we thought we'd start off by talking about TV shows that are making some returns. We've got quite a few that are coming up this week, which is really awesome. And Angels, I heard that you have a few things to say about How to Get Away with Murder. Is that true?
I do. Well, I've just been doing like a rewatch of the entire thing, and I have quite a few theories about what's going to go on. I genuinely think that there's going to be quite a shocking twist. And now that oh dear, I can't actually say this, right? Because just in case somebody hasn't seen it.
I think we can make a note that spoilers are going to be on. I mean, the show's starting in a couple of days. So for me, I'm happy to talk about what has happened because we need to be up to date.
Okay, well, I think that Wes being dead is like a huge thing.
Yeah.
And I think that actually what we've seen so far is not going to be the actual truth. I would not be surprised if he was Annalise's biological son.
Good one.
Yeah, I've always thought that the entire time, but I don't know whether it's necessarily that or whether it's maybe that she felt like she was kind of his mother early on, or whether there was some other thing. But I've always thought that there's definitely something there. So I'm not really sure what's going to go on. I really want Frank and Laurel to get back together because their sex scenes were fucking hot, man. I mean, come on. No one likes like Laurel and fucking Wes. Are you kidding? I mean, who would want to do Frank? Who would want to do Wes over Frank? Come on, no one. So it's all about Frank. I mean, I know that we've all talked about Connor too, right? So
yes, my favorite.
Well, yeah, Connor. No. I think Connor's really good looking. I'm not saying he isn't. He is, but he unfortunately looks about 12. But yeah.
Okay. That makes me feel great. But I love the relationship that he has with, oh my gosh, it's been an entire break. That's his name, Oliver.
Me too. I love those two together. They're so cute.
Yeah.
Skylar was just saying, I once got away with murder. Basically, I was sitting in my kitchen and there was this cup of ice cream, took a spoon to it and butchered it.
Good one, Skylar.
Well, I don't even like ice cream. It gives me brain freeze. I'd much rather cheese and wine, personally. But
I love my cheese. I'm not really a huge wine fan, but I love my cheese. There's a word in Dutch for it, which is kaskop.
Ja, omdat jij een kaaskop bent.
Yeah. Literally translate cheesehead.
Yeah, kaaskop, yeah.
Love my cheese. But I do like my ice cream as well. It depends on the ice cream itself. I do like it. Yeah, so look, it is going to be really interesting to see what's happening now with the death of Wes. Wes or Wes? It's been too
Well, I
long.
mean, I always say Wes, but yeah,
Wes.
Wes.
Right, either way. And look, honestly, I've felt the same thing at certain times, thinking there's some deeper connection between him and Annalise than
Yeah.
just student and educator.
Yeah.
So being the son, very possible, very likely.
Or she views him as being her son because she lost her son, but you know, we already saw that she knew his mother, and we also saw that she knew that his mother killed herself. So I'm thinking, well, it might only be that, but it might be more than that. So yeah, I'm not convinced. I think it might actually go deeper. So yeah.
Now, do we remember who the heck killed Wes?
Yeah, it was no, it was we saw him. It was like that random. It was Nick Gonzalez. So you know, he was playing just some random hitman, wasn't he?
Oh, right. Okay.
Remember,
Yeah.
he was like employed by who? And I was just like, no, because you can't kill him because we need someone who we actually know
That
who's
we
killed
know.
him.
Yes, hello, Marlene.
Oh.
Yes, we need someone we know. I do get frustrated with reveals like that. Like, don't they expect us to theorize and then they just shove someone under our nose that we don't even know?
Well, the thing is, I understand why they would, why in that particular case he would have hired someone, but I'm still a bit like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I think it's very disrespectful to theorizing fans,
Yeah.
and I think that I think maybe that's not as bad. I think the end of PLL is probably the worst, which is why I'm not interested in watching this new thing, unless if Emily's in it too. Like if Sasha's playing Alison, I want Emily and the kids to be in it.
Yeah.
Because they've sort of forged out this entire life for them, and then suddenly what? They're just not going to be there. They're just going to like write them out and be,
perfectionist. Sorry, I was just distracted for a moment there. We're talking about perfectionist, something.
Total and utter crap. Yes.
Yes, Skylar. Look, I definitely think it's interesting that I feel like Marlene, as I said in the video that I did, if you haven't watched it, feel free to have a look at it. I said, you know, Marlene is very smart in putting Janelle Parrish as Mona Vanderbilt into the series because I do think it will capture a lot more people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly right. But yeah, like the fact that, look, do we know for sure that Shay Mitchell is not there? Or are we just going off of, well, we know that Sasha and Janelle are going to be there, so we're going to assume that doesn't include Shay because her name didn't come up.
We don't know it as yet, but I'd be quite shocked if they didn't announce it together.
Yeah, you would think. That's a good point.
But I don't think that I think she'd get rehired regardless because now she's so kind of like a fan favorite. We better not see fucking Alex Drake, mate. I could do a better job of that, I tell you.
Yes, it's a good point. Skylar is saying that Shay won't get rehired. She's not a good actress.
Yeah, but I don't think she wouldn't get rehired. But I don't think she wouldn't get rehired because of that. I think that it would be more of a just she wouldn't get rehired for whatever reason. But
yeah, I find it really interesting because obviously the Emerson fans wanted to see Ali and Emily in this series, and if it's not going to happen, well, that's going to break their hearts. But yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. I'm definitely going to watch the pilot, but I tell you what, if I'm disappointed, I will have no problems abandoning the show after the train wreck of PLL. But also, as I said in the video, I'm going to go in vigilant, knowing what Marlene is like, knowing that there is every possibility I am going to be disappointed, and also knowing that I don't have to stay committed to the show.
Yeah, I'm thinking I probably won't watch it. But you see, the one thing that really tempts me is because I love Janelle Parrish as an actress. I think she's incredible, especially as the character Mona. I love Mona. So it would basically be Mona that carries it for me. I also love Sasha. I think she's an incredible actress as Alison. So I think both of them basically would carry it. But if it was all about Addison and like her friends and stuff, no, I'm sorry, no.
Yeah. Just quickly before we go on, Sarah has joined us in the room. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for being here. Skylar's watched Feed. Have you seen Feed yet, Angels?
I haven't. I really want to though.
Then I won't spoil it for you. Skylar says, had to explain the concept to everyone because I made my family watch it with me and they were confused. So yeah, without giving it away, it focuses on the psychological side of what's the
it's
thing?
Her losing her twin, right? In like an accident, and then it's anorexia and her. So yeah.
Yes, anorexia with the psychological side. So it's very intriguing. Skylar says that she will watch The Perfectionist because she's a hypocrite. That's funny.
Well, I'm not going to, but yeah.
Yeah, so I will give it a go and sort of see where it leads me. And if it's not good, then then it's not good. But I mean, it's Mona. I don't feel like I can.
No, I love Mona. I mean,
I love Mona, and then not give it a go. But if it does disappoint me, I will abandon ship very quickly. Unlike PLL, where there was many times that I said I was going to abandon ship, and then I climbed back on board. So, yeah. Scarlett says, I want to see bitchy Alison and Mona, and I want to see them plotting and doing bad things.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've always loved bitchy Ali, right? When she became boring Ali, I was like, fuck this. Like, what I loved, actually, do you remember when her and Emily were, like, both teachers? And she goes, between the two of us, we've got to know someone who could take her out. And then Emily looks at her horrified, like, what the fuck? I'm like, we got a glimpse of bitchy, like, calculus, crazy Alison. Thank God. But I quite like her to be like that the entire time. If she's like that the entire time in that series, I'd be well up for it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm not, I just want bitchy Ali.
Yeah, I completely agree. We don't need nice Ali. And also, I'm wondering, just because Sasha and Janelle are going to be in the show doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be the protagonists either. I mean, the protagonist might be this stupid girl from the finale. I keep forgetting her name.
Oh, I don't even fucking care about her, though. Like, honestly, like, I really don't give a shit about her. All these twin storylines, says Sarah, with Troyan. I'm saying I'll give it. Oh, Sarah, you're such a fucking hypocrite. If it's terrible though, and the first episode doesn't get me intrigued, then I won't. Okay, but you're still a sellout, Skylar. But the thing is,
that's what Skylar was saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, can you carry on reading it just for a second?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
To the bathroom quick.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, Sarah, I don't think we were saying that you were a hypocrite. Skylar was saying it earlier. That
sorry. I was just kidding. I was like,
no, that's totally fine. No problems.
Okay, I'll be back on a sec.
Cool, no problems. Sarah says, if it's terrible though in the first episode doesn't get me intrigued, then I won't. Yeah, exactly. I'm on the same wavelength as you. Please ignore if you hear any noise in the background. I've got my niece over this week. Yeah. I'm the same as you. If the pilot episode intrigues me, yay. If it doesn't, then not at all. Excuse me, everyone. Skylar says, but the thing is, if Ali is in it, you need her family storyline and her marriage, and if Mona is in it, you have to explain what happened to Mary and Alex. Exactly right, Skylar. Like, and that's the thing. It's one thing to cast Janelle and Sasha into this show. It's another thing to cast Janelle and Sasha as Mona and Ali. Because, yeah, exactly. We can't sort of just cut those storylines. And it would be bitterly disappointing to just have them have a side conversation about it. Like Alison might say to Mona, oh, remember how you let Alex and Mary go or something like that, and then they just move on. Like, that would really annoy me. Skylar says, all the new girls look like bootleg versions of the original girls. Yeah, that would not surprise me at all. Yeah, so Sarah, definitely, we're not saying that you're a hypocrite. We're relaying what Skylar was saying earlier. Skylar was saying she was a hypocrite. So you're definitely not one, Sarah. That's why I want to make that correction. Yeah, so that's like my thought, you guys. Like, do we think that Ali and Mona are actually going to be the main characters, or do we think they're going to be supporting characters? Because all we know is that they're going to be in the show. We don't know how involved they're actually going to be. Skylar's explained that. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, sorry about that, Sarah. We're just making that confirmation now. That was not directed at you. That was in relation to Skylar saying she's going to watch it, making her a hypocrite. So, yeah, we have a lot of shows coming up. I'm going to continue to watch Mr. Mercedes, which I'm excited about. I obviously don't cover it on my channel. However, I will include it in my live chats. American Horror Story. I have not seen the latest episode, so no spoilers, please. Survivor coming up, which is good as well. I don't know if anyone on here watches South Park, but as I said, I am going to start covering South Park, and I'm very excited to be doing that because despite the fact that they can be a bit offensive, I sort of take South Park as a very tongue-in-cheek animated show. You know, they've all the animated shows have said things either about gay people or about Australians in general, and honestly, for me, I sort of laugh along with it because I just find it to be said in jest, and so therefore I find South Park to be a funny show that I enjoy. And I really hated last season because they had this one story arc that was basically covering the whole season. It was continuous, where for me what I like about South Park is each episode seems to be independent of each other. The good news is that with this current season, which they'll be having the third episode coming up, I think tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. They have so far, the first two have been completely independent of each other. So I'm really happy and excited about that. Skylar says she thinks that Janelle and, Ali and Mona, we can say, are going to be supporting characters. Yeah, I've got the same feeling about that too.
I hope so. I think I got the name wrong too. Sarah's like wondering, why is she a hypocrite? I think I did mean to say Skylar, but said Sarah. So yeah, I wasn't being bitchy to you, Sarah. No worries.
Yeah. Do you want to keep going, Angels, with reading the comments?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to be, yeah. But see, the whole thing is like Skylar said, they'll be in the show often, but not in every single one. Now, I think it would be a shame if they're not in every single one because they are such good actors. I mean, like, I love Janelle and I love Sasha, and they're so good in their sort of roles. I'm just thinking, well, why would you not have them in every single one? Because they're basically going to carry the whole show anyway, right? So
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think if they're not, then definitely it was Marlene's plan to basically bring them in just for star power.
To try and sell it. Yeah,
exactly.
To try and sell, yeah.
And I will tell you something though. Yes, I'm happy that Mona's there, but I tell you what, if Addison is playing the lead,
no,
I don't think I'm going to last. Yeah, no.
Me neither. Because she's also not a very good actress either. So I think there's like a big difference.
Yeah. Excellent. Where are we? Like, they'll be in the show often, but not in everyone, yeah. So I have to see. Skylar is halfway through the last season of Charmed. Yay, that's awesome. We are going to do a Charmed chat to wrap everything up soon. I'll keep you guys up to date when that happens. Sean loves South Park. Oh, well, that's awesome. Well done, Sean. Yeah, so as I say, if you can take the jokes lightheartedly, then South Park can be quite a funny show. One of the reasons I'm quite forgiving with South Park, as with other animated shows like Simpsons and Family Guy and so on is because they are animation. I think if it wasn't animation, it would be very different to me. So, like, for example, in the last episode of South Park, there was someone that was run over by a car. Because it was animation, to me, I don't take it so seriously. I just go, oh, okay, it's animation, whatever. But it does bring up a lot of interesting points. So, for example, there have been a lot of issues with people texting and driving recently in the States. So South Park wanted to do something about that, and they did in the last episode. They were making a very big point about that. Also, since this is a current affairs chat, I'm happy to bring this up. Donald Trump and all of the tweeting that he's doing unnecessarily, South Park wanted to bring that up to make a point about it. So I think it is very interesting that not only that they keep up to date, but they're able to get messages out there in amongst the humour that they are adding into the show. Yeah, I will certainly discuss that when I do my review. I'll review episodes 1 to 3 tomorrow. So Skylar says the problem with having them, so we're talking about perfectionists again, in each episode, then you have to develop more on their backstories. And while we will enjoy that, it might not work for the show's purpose because it's hard to get actors back to reprise a character. Yeah, look, one thing I've been trying to work out about this is that some people are calling the show Pretty Little Liars the Perfectionists. Now, if it is known as Pretty Little Liars the Perfectionists, then it makes sense to have Allison and Mona in the show. But if it's literally just called The Perfectionists and it's completely separate, I can't for the life of me understand why we're including Allison and Mona. Yeah, sure, include Sasha and Janelle, but carrying the characters over, if you leave plot holes, Marlene, people are going to get really upset with you. What's your thought on that, Angels?
I think she's basically going to try and draw on the fact that Janelle is a brilliant actress, and I think that Sasha is too. But like I said, I think she's going to try and draw on that for her new characters. And unfortunately, I do think it is going to be about those girls. I think her whole quote unquote full circle shit is actually going to actually happen.
Imperfectionists.
Yeah, I do. Sadly. I know, which is why, sorry, but you guys are fucking sellouts. If you watch it, you're all sellouts, because there is no way that we can do this again. I think we've established that Marlene has stabbed us in the heart one too many times.
I think for me, as I said, I was never going to watch it, but because of the fact that they have Mona in the storyline, and I love Mona, that I'm willing to give it a go.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But I'm not going to commit myself to it, like, that's for sure. Because of the fact that Marlene is behind all of it, like, I'm certainly not going to do that. Skylar says South Park does a great job tackling that being current issues. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the great things and risky things that is about the creators Matt and Trey is they actually will start developing the current episode that's coming out 7 days before it airs to keep everything current. The risk with that being that one time they actually didn't make the air date, unfortunately. Another risk being that the finale of last season, they had done everything, shot everything, done all the voices. They were following the election, and the person they have playing Hillary won in their final episode. They had 48 hours to change the episode to reflect what actually happened with Trump winning. So it's a bit, scary, but it is up to date, and they do a great job with it. I agree, Skylar. Sarah says, I think Angel said yesterday, how will that work? Because Emily is supposed to be with Ali and have kids.
Yeah, because how could they not be together considering they're engaged and probably getting married, and they've got like 2 daughters. I did also read in one of the forums, spoiler alert, by the way, that apparently they kill off Emily and her children in like a bad car crash, which would probably be one of the biggest cop-outs I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's terrible. Ugh, how disrespectful. Skylar says Ali is included because it's a shared world, and Ali makes sense because she's a teacher.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
I'm all fine as long as Emily's like on some international swimming tour, and like her mum's gone with her and is like looking after the daughters for a week, or
Yeah.
like a few weeks. I'm down with that, but you know, if they describe it well, that's fine. But otherwise, no. I'm sorry. They're meant to get married soon. Like,
yeah, I agree. But I
they've
do
got kids
also,
together. It's just
I
bullshit.
do also get what Skylar is saying, and it does make a little more sense. So if Ali's not a main character, but one or more of the perfectionists end up having classes with Ali as their teacher, that makes more sense to me. So it's like, okay, yeah, that sort of works.
Yeah, but I don't want freaking what's her name to be like the main character. I would find that so boring because yeah, but I don't even think that she's a good actor. Who even is she?
Yeah, who knows? Honestly, we'll have to see. And yeah, I don't know how Mona would be involved. Yeah, I don't either. I honestly feel like Mona was brought along to, get more viewers, basically.
Exactly.
We'll have to see.
I mean, to be fair, Mona is such a brilliant character. Like she carried that entire show. I mean, also even the original reveal. Congratulations, Spencer. Remember?
Yes, you figured
I mean,
it
it's
out.
so good.
Yes. Best reveal
No,
ever.
I mean, I actually knew that she was but I know that loads of people did, but she's always been one of my favorite characters anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so much love. So much love for her. I
oh,
try
me
not
too.
to. Just quickly before I get to Sarah's comment, I try not to read books on mystery shows that I watch. I know that like they're all out there. Like apparently there was a Sinner book released. Apparently there's a Mr. Davies book. There was a Pretty Little Liars book going on at the same time. I try not to read them just in case they spoil what's happening.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I had no idea that it was Mona, and I just loved it. That reveal was so fantastic. And from that moment on, I loved it too. Like the scene with Spencer and Mona in the car, and how Mona gives her the ultimatum of, you can sort of go away or you can join the team, sort of all of that stuff. I loved that.
Oh, same. Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Then, I don't know, Marlene sort of went off the deep end, probably had a few, too many brandies or something, and suddenly we wound up with Cece. But let's continue. Sarah says, but they will not show a single thing with Emily. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to say bye to Sky because she's like literally got 3.5 hours each.
Oh, sorry, Skylar.
Love you, baby girl.
We'll talk to you soon, Skylar.
Well, I most certainly will because I'm up sooner than she is. Fucking hell.
And I'll address your comments. So when you wake up, if you do want to rewatch it, I'll definitely address your comments. But thank you so much for being here.
Little fairy girl.
So Sarah's saying that they will not show a single thing with Emily. Yeah, so that is going to be really disappointing because it's not following on. Like seriously, had it been Janelle Parrish and Sasha Peterson as completely different people, no issue at all. But with them actually playing Mona and Ellie, let's see what happens. Skylar said she's a freaking sellout for Mona. Skylar, I completely agree. I am too. Skylar says they're always killing Kenny. Yes, they're always killing Kenny. I think that's just a running joke on South Park. Oh my God, you killed Kenny. It's just a running joke, but I haven't heard it for a very long time. It hasn't come up this season at all, and I don't think it came up at all last season. So I think they're starting to stop saying that. Skylar says Addison disappeared. That's right. In the finale of Pretty Little Liars, Addison did disappear. So I wonder if this will touch on that at all, which I almost just don't want to go down the whole Allison path again. They're like, oh, Addison disappeared. Oh, God, that would just annoy the heck out of me, to be completely honest. All right, Sarah said, that's honestly so shitty if they just kill Emily off, though. Like, to explain her not being there, Emily died, sorry, moving on, and Addison was terrible, yes, as an actress. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't like that at all. As Angel said with her idea, and I think that's much better, if Emily was off swimming in some events or whatever and Pam was taking care of the kids, that would be totally fine. Just killing her off like that, like, yeah, no. not good at all. It's almost in a way reminiscent of Maya. So just sort of killed Maya off, and everyone just moved on and didn't care.
Exactly.
You know, and that would just be horrible, especially for any PLL fan, because Emily was beloved by many PLL fans. So to do that would be a big slap in the face.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's that side of everything. Yeah, so we discussed How to Get Away with Murder. I discussed all the others. Will and Grace, the last one that is coming up this month. That's coming up on Friday. As you guys know, if you've seen any of my videos discussing Will and Grace, I will be literally bouncing up and down in my chair when I review this. I'm so happy that Will and Grace is coming back. It is high time it did, and I'm looking forward to all the laughs. So feel free to come along and join me. I'll be doing a review at some point on Friday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, for that one. So yeah, wonderful.
I think before I go, Sarah will probably join us. I hope she will. I just sent her the link. But yeah, I just feel like I don't even feel like it's the whole fact that they're gay. I feel like that, you know, because Emily and Addison obviously are together and like engaged and have kids, like you can't just write them out. You can't suddenly be like, oh, okay, suddenly it's not a thing. You know, it's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you know, their relationship is obviously intense. They have children together, for fuck's sake. And I just feel like it has to be a thing.
Yeah.
Whether people like it or not, which annoys me if they don't have Shay Mitchell in there. Having said that, she's not exactly a great actress, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
I do feel like she's a lot better than what she used to be, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see what happens there. Yeah. All right. Did you say you're going to get going, Angels?
Shortly, but I just sent the Hangout link to Sarah, so I think she's probably joining for a little.
Yeah.
Okay, she's just going to type for now. That's fine.
Yeah,
did you want to cover a couple of current affairs things? Oh, let's actually go over the equal marriage vote. So,
yeah, let's do that because that's very, very important over here. So just quickly before we do, to wrap up this TV section, Sarah says, I kind of miss Emerson and their lesbian loves. Yeah, I do too. And one of the big questions that I presented if you guys saw my breaking news thing about Marlene is, let's hope that they finally have a male gay couple. Marlene, I'm talking directly to you. If you want to come on the show and rebut me, please do. But let's have a male gay couple in The Perfectionist.
I mean, why though? Because Marlene's gay. So
exactly.
Also, you basically assume that she would be way more kind of in touch with gay relationships, whether it's male or female.
I think so. And it does lead into a very good segment on gay marriage in Australia. This is a huge topic at the moment. I've recently discovered a lot of YouTube videos on it as well, reflecting as such. There are people who really want this to happen. There are people who really don't want this to happen, and their arguments seem a little illogical.
They don't have a leg to stand on, let's face it.
And then there are people who are neutral to it, and so therefore, because this is our one and only non-compulsory vote in Australia, they will decide to not vote at all. So there are a lot of issues to take into consideration when it comes to this. But Angels, things have dramatically changed over where you are and the surrounding areas, especially when we look at somewhere like Ireland, which is an overly religious area, and yet they changed everything. And I was watching a documentary recently where someone from Ireland was saying this is a reflection of Ireland today. We are, very accepting, and we're more than happy for people of same sex to get married.
Yep.
So is it legal in England?
Yes, I mean, it's actually legal in the entire of the UK. So that's England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, you can legally get married, right? Regardless who you are. So we are cool with equal marriage. You can't get married, I think, still in the Irish Republic. They're still
Okay.
quite religious, and so they're still kind of. But what's interesting is they're actually holding a referendum, and I believe it's quite shortly. As in when I say shortly, I believe that the next week or two, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to get an overwhelming yes.
Wow. There you go.
So I think pretty much everywhere is doing that now.
Well, let me fire off some questions at you, because hopefully this will be in a way, a projection of the possibility of the future here in Australia, and people can understand where their falsehoods lie. For example, you say that the whole of the UK has same-sex marriage legalized. Have they since legalized any other types of marriage, including bestiality?
Gosh, I haven't looked into bestiality. At least not yet. I can't answer that until I'm more read up.
That's fine. So one of the irrational fears over here is that it will lead to bestiality being legalized, and people also being able to marry their animals and stuff like that.
Right. So somebody being able to marry the person they love will then lead to somebody marrying an animal.
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
the definition of bestiality is not marrying an animal; it's fucking an animal.
True.
And I think there's a big difference between.
That's a good point.
Oh, that's fine. Just send them my way. Just put them right with that.
So I very much
in about 3 seconds.
Yeah. I look. See, the thing is, it is a completely different thing, and if it does happen, it's something else completely. But let me ask something a little more interesting. From where you stand, from what you've seen, I don't know how actively involved you are in this scene, but from what you're seeing, has religion been impacted by this? Has religion changed significantly because of this law?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
But in a really good way. I think that so I don't think it's changed as in, people can't take it on board and say that anything's bad. But what I do think that it has done is that I think that religious leaders have woken up, as if they weren't already. I think many already were. But the good thing about it is that even the strictest of religious leaders have taken note of this, like, well, hold on, this is not right now. Okay, we're in this particular day and age. Why the hell should we sit on these people's equal rights, for fuck's sake? We're talking about equal rights. We aren't talking about, people are going to come and enslave your fucking family. We're not talking about people who are going to come and starve you and waterboard you for about 14 days. We're literally talking to you about somebody who wants to marry the person they love. Are you kidding me? Like the fact it's even a thing in 2017 makes me laugh, So of course not. Of course it shouldn't be a fucking thing.
I've said to any Australians who are listening to this, either live or delayed, I've said this a few times to Angel, and I still believe it now. We need someone like you coming here to Australia with some sort of like a megaphone and just saying this to the public.
Well, yeah. But like I said, it's a very unfortunate thing, but the people with the loudest voices tend to be the right-wing bullies. And that's a bad thing. What you need is attack dogs. You need people that go for the fucking throat, but you need them on the liberal side, like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We need to stand up for what. Well, yeah, but we aren't. All we need to do is really, really go for it.
All right, so just sorry to interrupt you there, but Sarah has a very interesting point. She says, I think some people are referring, when it comes to religion, to the few cases where a minister refused to marry a gay couple and took them to court. I don't know too much about how that one was resolved, but I do know about the next bit of information she was saying. So do you know anything about that, Angels?
Yeah, I do. I
Okay,
know
yep.
what she's talking about when it comes to the ministers refusing to marry a gay couple. If it's within the church, they are actually within their rights to do that. I don't agree with it, but I know that they can actually do that. On a legal standpoint, they can't. They, you know, because you know, legally, all people can get married here. Um,
Yep.
I know that the couple who refused to make a gay wedding cake were taken to
Yes.
court.
Yeah,
Now, I mean, why the hell? If it's like, you know, if they have customers saying, "Can you make this cake, please?" Like, what the hell? Why would they not do that? I don't understand that, but
yeah.
whatever.
Well, I'm sort of shocked with that part, like the fact that this couple refused to make a gay wedding cake, and all that. And so some people say, you know, they shouldn't have to. But and now this happened in America, and as I said in my video, it's like the couple that are making the cake refusing to make a cake for an African American couple. Now, if you're going to get all riled up about that and say, no, Francois, that's wrong, you can't in the same breath say it's right for them to refuse to do it for a gay couple. At the end of the day, we're striving for equality. We're striving to have everyone being
Look,
treated exactly the same.
exactly, if somebody is providing a service, there
Mm,
should be absolutely no judgment amongst who they're doing it for, unless, of course, like if somebody goes in and like threatens them or something, fine.
yeah,
You know, you don't have to serve somebody who's threatening you or who's been, but no, when it comes to the average person, it doesn't get like, who cares where the fuck they're from? They are a
exactly.
customer. That, you know, they're paying you money to actually do it. Like, who the fuck cares?
And I'm sorry, I will say this. Sorry, not sorry. I will actually proudly say
Mm.
that the people that refused to make the cake and that were taken to court, do I think this was the right thing? Hell yeah, I do.
Yep.
How rude of them not to do it. The gay couple had every right to take them to court. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I
Um,
totally agree with you.
yeah.
Totally agree with you.
So,
And
so
frankly, like you know, I am totally for the yes vote. So whoever watches this, I don't want to influence your vote, but take it on board that this is
yeah,
just 2017 and anyone should be able to marry who they want to fucking marry.
yeah,
Who says, too, that marriage is only between a man and a woman? That's total and utter bollocks. The word I'm a linguist, right? Take it from me. The word marriage means combination of. It doesn't mean man and woman.
yeah.
What it means is combination of. And if you genuinely think that a marriage of two people, regardless their sex, can work really, really well together, and if you believe that people should have the right to marry or at least be able to marry the person they love, then vote yes. Are you
So
nuts?
yes, yeah,
Like, it should
exactly,
not even be a thing. We shouldn't even
exactly.
be doing this. So yes,
Yeah,
absolutely yes, 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 yes. Can't say enough yeses.
love it.
Been doing
We
this
can do
my
so
whole
many
life, so
yeses
yeah.
today. So speaking of which, it's interesting. Sarah brings up a good point, and I do want to address that. She says, "And so many people assume that if gay people are allowed to marry, that there are going to be more of those issues about people being taken to court, and that's simply not the case. So people assume religious freedoms will be taken away, but it's funny." People are concerned with people's religious freedoms, but they don't care at all about for other people's freedoms, for the freedom of everyone. Sorry, not sorry, indeed, exactly. Let's talk about that really quickly. So I'm a gay man myself, so obviously I'm very invested in this vote because it's going to have an impact on me personally. I am not saying say yes to me getting married in a church where God blesses me and we change the Bible to say that God loves gay people, so does Jesus, and blah, blah. No, this is not a religious thing for me. For me personally, now there may be other gay people that are different to me, But for me personally, this is not a religious thing. It is, I view marriage as a wonderful celebration, but aside from that, I view it as a legally binding contract, not as a religious affair involving God and Jesus and everything else. So anyone that comes back to me and says, oh, well, you know, my religion says ABC, well, I say, well, that's great. But just so you know, I want to have no impact on your religion. This is completely separate to your religion. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that, Angels?
Well, yeah, I am utterly in agreement with you. Actually, people that try and argue with me, especially if I'm in a particularly salty mood like I am now, but that's probably because I'm tired and so I do have to go to sleep shortly. But yes,
Yeah.
as an overall thing, like, whose right is it to turn around and say, you know what, I have a real problem with who you've fallen in love with. I've got a real problem with who you're deciding to actually marry. You're deciding to marry in your life that has nothing to do with mine. Now, I still can't get over how somebody could be arrogant enough to imagine that their stupid, boring, mundane life could have anything to do with anyone else's, and also why their judgment would matter a shit to anyone else's life. So without sounding overly harsh, don't have a leg to stand on, and people should be allowed to marry who the hell they want to marry. End of story.
Exactly.
Job done.
Right, but the unfortunate thing here, especially the way that Australia is doing it, is that these religious people do have a leg to stand on when it comes to casting a vote, and
Look, that's
find
tough.
that confusing.
Well, what I like about Germany, for example, is that Angela Merkel is actually obviously Chancellor in Germany. You know, she's got back in. She personally doesn't, you know, she's quite religious in like a Christian standpoint, but she allowed a free vote on equal marriage, and she passed it through. So, you know, so she's very pro civil rights, even though she's from like a Christian party, which I thought was brilliant. Well, I thought that was brilliant because I thought, look, you've got your personal beliefs, but you know, you haven't let it impede on civil rights.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was really happy with that. But then it's also, you know, been allowed for a while in a lot of Western Europe. Actually, Holland, which I obviously, as you know, spend a lot of my time, was the first Western European country to legalise gay marriage.
Yeah, woohoo. Go Holland. Yeah, look, honestly, as I said on my video, yeah, so Holland were the first to do it, and I'm not so surprised that Australia is behind Holland because, well, quite frankly, Australia is behind Holland by quite a way. But I was surprised, and this is no offense to the United States at all. Everyone who knows me knows I love the USA, but I was quite surprised that Australia, if they choose to legalize it now, will still be doing it after the United States. That really surprises me. Before I go any further, Chase has joined us. Hi, Chase. Thank you very much for being here. And Sarah says, but a lot of these people are picking and choosing. They are okay with two atheists getting married outside of a church as long as it's a man and a woman still, but screw those gays. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's, I honestly, don't really know what to say about that side of things.
Well,
I mean,
I do. I mean, I was just going to jump in and say, look, Sarah, you're absolutely right. There are some people saying, well, no, I have a real problem with these two people who love each other, but they they're the same gender. That's so wrong. And yet, you're absolutely right. They're okay with two atheists who don't even believe in the God that they bang on about so much getting married outside of a church, as long as it's a man and a woman. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. It's never made sense.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Now, next thing I want to touch upon is something that's happening here in Victoria, but I don't know if it's happening overseas, so you may not know too much about it, Angels, but we have something here in Victoria called the Safe Schools Program. And so this has been introduced to high schools in Victoria, the first 2 years of high school. And basically what it is they're a course that's being taught to these students to be more open-minded and accepting of people from the LGBTIQ community, which I think is fabulous. It's high time that schools were doing something to be more inclusive of them. So, for example, when you're teaching health and sex ed, for example, it's not just about teaching straight sex, but also gay sex as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it always should be. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But there's a problem with the no side, at least from my view, the no side of this vote, saying that allowing gay marriage allows this Safe Schools program to happen. Now, first of all, my view on the Safe Schools program is that it is fantastic. That aside.
But it's also unrelated.
Exactly, and that's the point I wanted to make. That aside, the marriage vote is completely and totally unrelated to the Safe Schools program. Whether or not that continues, goes Australia-wide, or even goes away, has nothing to do with this vote whatsoever. So it's sort of annoying that that is the case. I will get to the comments in just 1 second, but one of the things I found interesting, that we have a No campaign commercial that's going on at the moment. If you've seen my video, you would have heard this, where a lady says that her son was told that if he wanted to wear a dress to school, that that would be okay. And the point that they're making in the No campaign is, if we allow gay marriage, then oh my gosh, this is what's happening. First of all, not really. Secondly, I'm quite surprised that there is an issue. Like, I mean, in 2017, for goodness sake, now if this was like, I don't know, the 1940s, different story, but in 2017, I'm quite surprised there is an issue with educators saying, if you so desire, you may do this. They're not saying you have to. No one's forcing anyone to do it. They're saying if you would feel more comfortable, you can. And I think the reason they're doing this is to be more supportive of the transgender community. So if you're a male, if you're like, if you were born as a male,
woman or a trans man, or
exactly, you can go into whatever uniform you're more comfortable in. And people are having issues with this. Again, it doesn't impact the vote. It has nothing to do with the vote, and yet they're trying to make.
See, why are they trying to drag those types of issues into it?
And I think that's my point. Every argument that the No campaign is making is completely irrelevant to the point.
The fact it's a civil right. It's a civil right.
Ridiculous. All right, let's get to some of these comments. Chase says, man and woman, or man and man, or woman and woman, or heck, it and it marrying each other. Good one. Should be okay and allowed. Come on, it's 2017 and not the 1700s. Right on, Chase. Right on. Completely agree. And Angels, you're agreeing with that as well. Yeah. Chase says, if people can accept men dressing like women, then gay marriage should be okay too. Yeah. So, so the good news is, I think
it's not really related, but okay. Yeah.
No, it's not related, but it does bring up a point. If you can accept one thing, one basic human right, why can't you accept another? And that's my thought, is that not everyone does. These schools have been put out to some. This Safe Schools program has been put out to some schools in Victoria, not all of them. Some parents have acted completely irrationally, pulled their students out of school and taken them to a school that is not going to accept the Safe Schools program. But I won't go there. I won't waste too much time on Safe Schools. That's not what we're here to talk about. But one thing I appreciate about it is that if you are going to be a part of the school, and if you can learn to accept everyone, then it shouldn't be an issue. The problem with this, however, when it comes to the vote, is that this is being taught to students who are not of legal age to vote. So therefore, as much as I would love to hear their opinion, unfortunately, when it comes to this vote, their opinion by law does not count.
Oh shit, what? That's so annoying.
I would love to see commercials with these kids. like saying stuff so we could get
Definitely.
their opinion. Because I do believe that if the millennials could vote, we would have an overwhelming yes.
Oh, absolutely,
Because they don't
absolutely.
care at all.
No,
So yeah.
exactly, absolutely. It's the older people that are going to drag you back, but I'm thinking it'll probably pass, right? I mean, it should do, surely.
I hope so. We'll have to see. The yes.
What do the projections look like as a general
The
sense?
projections looked like something along the lines of 75% yes, but then over the last couple of days it's gone down to 65. So if that
Narrowed,
keeps
okay.
going, and we need a clear majority to have any chance. Sarah says the no campaigners think there is a hidden agenda. They're all up on those conspiracy theories. You're exactly right, Sarah.
Crazy conspiracists.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunately what happens with the overly religious right. You know, that is what they do. They love that kind of shit. By the way, Sarah, you better jump in because I really have to go.
That's okay.
It's 7:21
You
and
keep
I'm
going,
at work.
Well, you get some good sleep and we will talk to you very soon. Thank you for being a part of the show today.
No, thank you for inviting me, and thanks, guys, if you're viewing this. And anyway, I guess Sarah will probably jump in a second. But thanks for having me part of the current affairs chat.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And what we'll do is, I'm guessing we'll have like another one in the next few days, and we can bring up some of the stuff in Britain, some of the stuff in America, and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. We'll have another one soon. I'm going to be busy for the next couple of days with all the shows that are coming out, but once I have a free moment, we will definitely do that. Sounds fun.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, yeah, cheers, guys, and I will speak to you soon. Lots of love. Bye.
Oh, bye, Angels. Lots of love to you too. Bye. And that was Angels there joining us from England, or from the great UK anyway, and we really do appreciate her support. Getting on to some of your comments very quickly. Sarah says, last I saw it was 55 yes and 40 something no and 9% undecided. Wow. See, that's really sad. All because of all of these conspiracy theories. Chase says Trump versus the North Korea president. Yeah, that'll be an interesting topic to discuss. I've learned a little more about that as time has gone on, so it'll be certainly something to discuss. But yeah, that's really unfortunate, Sarah, that is going on. So guys, we're not going to be here for much longer in any case. If there's any final comments anyone wants to make, please do. And then I've got to go and do a few things, including watching American Horror Story. I have not watched it yet, but I've still got a review coming to you guys. So I'm looking forward to doing that for all of you. And then all those other reviews coming up over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, Survivor in South Park, and Friday, Will and Grace and How to Get Away with Murder. And then Saturday, we're going to be having a live chat. Very important to take note. On Saturday, the Australian Eastern Standard Time, Saturday the 30th of September, we are going to be having a WHAMS chat discussing all of the shows that we're currently talking about, being Will and Grace, How to Get Away with Murder, American Horror Story, Mr. Mercedes will be included, Survivor, and South Park. So if there's anything else anyone wants to talk about, just really quickly let me know. Otherwise, I will make my way away. Chase says that you will like it. I assume you're talking about American Horror Story? Yeah, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it. I saw an interview, funny enough, with Sarah Paulson on The Ellen Show, and I think she legitimately may have the same conditions that Ellie has in the show. So she certainly has a fear of clowns, and she also has a fear of a cluster of holes, which is still something I'm trying to understand how you can have a fear of. I'm not rejecting it, saying that you can't, but at the same time, I'm sort of thinking, I don't know how you can have a fear of a cluster of holes. I mean, I love the crunchy chocolate bar, and there's a cluster of holes in that, so anyone who has that probably wouldn't like the crunchy bar. Or even those Aero bars. Remember those Aero chocolate bars? I don't know if they still make them. They're all right. All right, everyone. Well, I think this might be a good place to leave it. I want to say thank you to everyone for coming along. As always, I say make love and not war. There's more than enough war going on. Give someone you love a hug today. Regarding the marriage equality thing, I just want to make my point quite clear. I'm not saying that people can't have their opinions. You absolutely can. And if you are not for same-sex marriage, that is totally fine. You're well within your right to say that. What I am saying, and please allow me to make this distinction, what I am saying is please do your research and know your facts. Don't just take something on that one person has said as truth, because it may very well not be. There are a lot of conspiracy theories out there at the moment as to what this vote is going to do, and all the ones that I've come across, none of them are true, or they're completely irrelevant. So please, you have the right to have your opinion, but please know the facts before making outlandish statements that just either aren't true, or quite frankly, as the majority of them are in this situation, have nothing to do with this vote at all. As Angel's put very well, and I completely agree with her, it is a basic civil right at the end of the day. We're not asking to become leaders of a church. We're not asking to rewrite the Bible. We're just asking that we have the same right that straight couples have, and be able to get married. For me personally, whether I was gay or straight, I do believe that love is love. And if you believe that love is love, then I would only hope that you vote yes. Yeah, just quickly, some comments and then I'll go. Chase says he thinks that when it comes to the fear of cluster of holes, that it means big holes, like carpets and things like that. Fair enough. Angel says it is a matter of civil rights. Absolutely it is. Angel says vote yes, end of story. Yeah, I love that. It reminds me of the slogan that Nike have. Nike, just do it. It's like vote yes, end of story. Chase says vote yes and only vote yes, and only yes, yes. Sorry, vote yes and only yes. Yes is the right answer. I like that. Love wins, for sure. Well, let's hope that that is the case. Sarah was giving us the latest statistic earlier. I was incorrect there. She said the last time she saw it, it was 55% yes, 40-something no, and 9% undecided. So let's see. Hopefully people will do their research and just know their facts before they make bold statements that aren't true. But once again, you have the right to your opinion. Just please do your research and don't just start believing what other people are saying. Don't buy into it. I mean, basically it's fear-mongering. It's not true. Do your research, and then if you still say no, you say no. If it changes your mind to a yes, yay. Either way, as I always say, and I'll say it once more, make love and not war. Give someone you love a hug today. Love, hugs, and kisses to all of you. I am Francois T. I want to thank my wonderful special guest host, Angels, for joining me today all the way from the UK. It's great to have you here, and everyone who joined me live, and all of you who are joining me afterwards, delayed. I hope to see you all soon. I'll be back on this channel very, very soon with a review from American Horror Story. Until next time, I'm Francois T. Bye, guys.